गजाननं भूतगणातिसेवितं कपित्थजम्बूफलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम् आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् आर्तानामार्तिहन्तारं भीतानां भयनाशनं त्रिशतां कालदण्डं तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहम् रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिमुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिम् गोष्पदीकृतवारीशं वशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायण महामाला रत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् मंगल भवन does he have to stay here? अमंगल हारी मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी द्रौ सुदशरथ अजिर विहारी द्रौ सुदशरथ अजिर बिहारी जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरु देव की नाई कृपा करो गुरु देव की नाई जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी जनक सुता जग जननी जानकी अतिशय प्रिय करुणा निधान की ताके जुगपद कमल मनाऊं जासु कृपा निर्मल मति पाऊं तीर्त्वा मोहार्णवं हत्वा रागद्वेषादिराक्षसान् योगी शांति समायुक्त आत्मा रामो विराजते We saw last time the some glimpse of the adhyatmic explanation of some of the aspects of Ramayana. There was a sloka of Adi Shankara from Atmabodha which summarizes this, where he says, having crossed the ocean of moha, moha is delusion. What is delusion? Delusion is that that one is not thinking straight. One is deluded. There is something, you are thinking it is something else. There is something is not, you think that something is. You are not that, but you think you are that. These are all signs of delusion. This is moha. Anatma buddhi. Atma buddhi in anatma vastu. If you think you are a table, then that's delusion. Body identification is delusion in the Adhyatma terms. Having crossed the ocean of delusion, having killed the Rakshasas who are attachment and aversion, Raga Dvesha, the yogi, Shanti Samayukta, in consort with peace, rules and shines as Atma Rama. This was Atma Bodha, Adi Shankara. So, we had a nice exploration of the Adhyatmic possibility, Adhyatmic views of Ramayana has been enjoyed by the masters, some of which we had the privilege of coming across. Now we are all at sea. We are all with the Vanaras and others facing the sea. Swayam Prabha has done her job. She has asked us to close our eyes and has put us in front of the sea, and she has said, I am going. Gone. And now Angada is the leader. The Vanaras and the bears, all of them are there looking at the sea. They don't know what to do. And Angada and others look around and they find there are some trees which have started flowering. And the Vanaras know all about all trees. Immediately he realizes that crazy he stunned Angada, and he tells others, our time is long over, my friends. The time allotted to us is long over. We started in Kartiki Masa. We've been searching all through Margashirsha, and I don't know what happened inside that cave, but it looks like we have spent the whole of Paush Masa inside the cave without realizing. It looks like Falguna is coming. It's come, maybe. Spring is coming. And our work is not done. We have far exceeded the time. How can we go back now? Sugriva will never forgive us. He is not the forgiving kind. If we go back now with no news of Sita, he is certain to punish all of us. There is no escape from his punishment. So it is better that we just die here rather than return to be killed there. In any case, it was not Sugriva who made me Yuvaraja. It was Rama. As far as Sugriva is concerned, Sugriva was the sworn enemy of our king, Vali, my father. He will have no hesitation whatsoever in inflicting savage punishment upon me. Now, why should I return and cause pain to my friends and well-wishers and by making them witness my degrading death at the hands of Sugriva? I have decided to give up my life right here. I shall fast here in the holy shore of the sea and give up my body. He was the leader, and that is what he said. And all the other apes that were there, they saw sense in what Angada said, and they were all frightened out of their wits when they realized so much time has gone. and that how to now go back and face Sugriva. Sugriva has already told them. So they were all very frightened, they didn't know what to do. I mean, here was a choice essentially to fast to death. And Tara, the other ape leader there, Tara, he said, friends, there is no need to despair. There is always the cave. We came from there. That cave is a work of magic. There, look, it's a beautiful ashrama. There are trees there. There is water there. There is fruits there. There is food there. There is drinks there. And there is no fear there. Not even Indra can do a thing there. We don't have to fear even Indra, what to speak of Rama or Sugriva. As soon as Tara said this, all the apes were quite immediately, they saw some hope and they looked towards Angada saying, now, that sounds sensible, we can all go back to the cave. Hanuman was watching all this, these people talking like this, and he became thoughtful. And in his mind he was thinking, he was assessing the situation. Angada had basically put down arms, he said, I am going to fast. But Hanuman had assessed, and he had been assessing over time now that Angada he was a king material. I mean, there was everything needed for a king. Qualities were there in Angada. He had seen that now. Buddhya hyashtangaya yuktam chaturbala samanvitam Chaturdasha gunam mene Hanuman valinas sutam. So, these last period that they had been on search, Angada had been in the lead, a difficult task, Hanuman had assessed quietly. And he realized, he says, in his view, the son of Vali, Angada had an intellect endowed with 8 attributes which are needed of a king. He had 4 kinds of strengths which are needed. And he had 14 personal virtues that are needed. All of them were there in Angada. So what are these? The commentary by Govindaraja Bhushana says about this, and others say, the eight Ashtanga, the attributes of the intellect, Shushrusha, Sravanam, Chaiva, Grahanam, Dharanam, Tatha, Uhapaha, Arthavijnanam, Tattvajnanam, Chadhiguna. So what are the 8 attributes? First is Shushrusha, then Sravanam, then Grahanam, then Dharanam, then Uha, then Apoha, and Arthavijnanam, and Tattvajnanam. It's a very fascinating list of attributes. Imagine that 5,000 years ago, so clearly like a logarithmic table it is classified. First is Shushrusha. Shushrusha is, in the matter of intellect, you must be firstly attentive. You must be listening, eager to listen, be attentive. Attentiveness is Shushrusha. The desire to know is Shushrusha. Next is Shravanam. You must listen. Then you listen. Then Grahanam. Understand what you have listened. Understanding. Grahanam. Be able to grasp what you have listened. Then Dharanam. Remember that which has been heard and understood. Remember that which has been heard and understood. Then Uha. Inquire. Deliberate about it. Think about it. And analyze it. Uha. Apoha. Having done that, should be able to argue and refute the contrary view. Apoha. That is anatma vastu, you should be able to say. The contrary view. Apoha. Therefore, artha vijnanam. Therefore, you have a comprehensive knowledge you develop about that subject. Any subject it can be. Whether it is learning music or dance or yoga or whatever. Be willing to know, listen, grasp, understand, remember, inquire, refute the contrary view, argue, develop a comprehensive understanding of that subject, and then lastly, finally, beautifully, Tattva Jnana. The inner understanding of the unity of that subject with supreme knowledge. You may be the greatest sumo wrestler in Japan. You may eat a ton of food, but in terms of mental calmness, you cannot be a sumo wrestler. Rock steady mind. He has found the inner unity of that with supreme knowledge. This is the 8 attributes of intellect. 4 kinds of strength. Chaturbala samanvitam. Bahubalam, Manobalam, Upayabalam, Bandhubalam. Bahubalam, strength of arm. Manobalam, strength of mind. Upayabalam, the ability to think, intellect, reasoning. Bandhubalam, alliance, strength of alliance. All 4 are needed for a king. 14 personal attributes. Deshakalagyata dardhyam sarvaklesha sahishnuta sarvavijnanita daksham urjaha samvrita mantrata avisamvadita shauryam shaktitagyatvam kritagyata sharanagata vatsalyam harshatvam achapalam. Deshakalagyata, to know the place, to know knowledge of place and time, when to do what and where. This is a leadership attribute. Terrific attribute. And I have seen it in some people. I don't know, it's like magic. Suddenly they'll say, we should do this. For 3 years they may not have said it. How they saw that at that time? Somehow there is that ability to know when the iron is hot to strike. Time and place, knowledge. Dardhyam, sturdiness, sarvaklesha sahishnuta, the ability to be able to put up with, endure with all kinds of troubles. Anything, all kinds of troubles the leader should be able to endure. Sarvaklesha sahishnuta. Sarvagya Vijnanita, Sarva Vijnanita, generally knowledgeable about everything. Sarva Vijnanita. Economy, finance, administration, this, that, everything. Sarva Vijnanita. Culture, all of that. Dakshyam, skillfulness, being adept in doing what you are doing. Be able to, urjaha, self-defense, should be able to defend himself. Samvrita mantrata, be able to keep confidence, confidentiality, secrets. Samvrita mantrata. Strategy should not be openly talked about. In countries, in matter of foreign policy or countries, etc. Avisamvadita, avoiding unwanted debates. Going to national television for prime time news and then unnecessarily debating, avoid it. avoiding asamvadita.
It's the best example.
Asamvadita, and also not uttering lies. Shauryam, courage. Shaktinyatvam, recognizing the strengths and weaknesses in one's own self and in others. Shaktinyatvam. Kritagyata, gratitude, faithfulness. Sharanagata vatsalyam, being affectionate and sheltering the seeker of refuge. Amarshatvam, showing anger at appropriate times. It's very important. The king. A king's anger has to be shown. Amarshatvam, achapalam, unwavering in opinion, non-wavering. All these attributes Angada had, Hanuman had assessed. And Hanuman had assessed that he had been steadily increasing in power, in strength, in valor, all that. Angada had steadily, I mean, you give a person, when the person first takes over responsibility, a little bit tentative, but soon, after a few months of being in that position, slowly establishes control, understands vision, what to do, how to lead, all that. Hanuman said it has been steadily has been growing. Like the moon in the bright fortnight, he has been seen Angada growing. Even though Angada has now said, no, I am not going back, he will punish, he is a savage, this thing, etc. I'd rather fast to death here and no point going back. Did he make me Yuvaraja? Rama made me Yuvaraja. He is my father's enemy. He'll do this, he'll do that. All that he's saying, and he's saying, I'm not going back. He's sitting down, I'm going to fast to death. Even though he's doing this. Hanuman is thinking, this man is growing in stature. Well, he's seeing something in him. That symptom of the disease will not reveal. Very similarly, when Arjuna had put down the bow and arrow, saying, I am not going fighting, Krishna didn't think he was an idiot. He didn't necessarily think that he had lost it all. That was a temporary aberration which had to, necessary. Like that, Hanuman is not, but then he has to deal with this aberration. In that case, Bhagavan had to give whole of Bhagavad Gita. Now Hanuman is seeing here, now this is situation. But he knew that Angada had intellect like Brihaspati, a man of great intellect. And as far as valor was concerned, he was equal to Vali. There's no doubt about it. But he was extremely beaten up in terms of his not achieving what he wanted to, and he was listening to Tara's counsel, who was saying, we'll go to the cave, etc. One convenient option also he was giving. Like Indra heard Shukracharya's opinion once, he took it. So that way he was making the wrong choice of listening to wrong advice. So Hanuman decided that we have to deal with this now. Can't let this go on. So he thought quickly, and he was well versed in Shastra. So there are 4 ways to deal with anything. There is Sama, Dana, Veda, Danda. Sama is you reason with the person and convince him this is the way to go. Dana is you say if you go this way, then you lose weight or something like that. You bribe. Right? You'll make a ton of money and you'll get fame, whatever. Sama, Dana. Veda is you sow discord in that camp. Or you sow discord in this person's mind, create doubt. Danda is, if you do that, then you're going to be serious trouble. I will go punish you, whatever. The danda. So he decided that now, in this particular case, first he has to do some bhedam. He has to show some. These are all apes are joining together, saying we'll go to cave. So first he has to break that cartel of opinion. So quickly he does that. Valmiki does it. He just says that he detached the monkeys from Angada's side by his legal skill. He spoke something to the monkey. It doesn't take much actually. That comes naturally to all of us. To sow Vedam. It's not that difficult. When there's a leader, all you have to do is to go to the reportees and say, what do you think of the leader? Immediately, he doesn't know anything. It's no problem. Within 15 minutes, you can create discord. It's not a problem. He said, what do you think the decision making, etc.? Not very good. What about the personal habits? Array, don't ask. Then one by one you can. It's not that difficult. Oh, how come you're following this? What to do? It's not that difficult. So he firstly, skillfully created some discord. Then after that, तेषु सर्वेषु भिन्नेषु ततो भीषयदङ्गदं भीषणैः बहुभिर्वाक्यैः कोपोपाय समन्वितैः. Then he concentrated on Angada and decided that he got to now intimidate him. They were scared. And he used kopa upayam, anger as an instrument. Little bit flashing anger he used. And decided that he should now break him up in his resolve to fast, etc. He has to do something about that. So he started that and he said that, listen, first of course he didn't straight away start. First he said, listen, just like your father was, so you are. You are absolutely capable of taking over kingship. You have everything that he needed. Having said that, therefore you should know the nature of the apes. The apes who are with you here, you should know by nature apes are flighty. They are not of firm mind. If you think that, away from their wife and children they'll stay forever, you're mistaken. You think they'll simply stay here and listen to your commands and do what you say when their wives and children are all away for such a long time? Then you haven't understood. That's not going to work. No one is going to join you in this. I'll assure you. Right now they may be nodding. Or for that matter, let me tell you, I will not join you. I won't join you. Neela won't join you. Jambavan won't join you. Suhotra won't join you. You cannot win our allegiance from Sugriva. Our king is Sugriva. And not by Sama, not by Dana, not by Bheda, not by Danda can you win us over from that loyalty of ours. Now you must also understand that when you are deciding to take on somebody who is superior to you in strength, there is a problem. A superior man can take on somebody inferior in strength. Not the other way. A superior man can impose his whim on an inferior man. But you are wanting to take on Rama and Lakshmana. What is that cave? This Tara is telling you to go. What that cave do you think it will do? That cave, when Maya was there, Indra created damage to it with the Vajrayudham. That Vajrayudham, nothing compared to the arrows of Lakshmana. The Lakshmana's arrows will come, will tear apart that cave. Cave, you want to go and hide. If you decide instead that you will sit here tight here, you will fast here. I won't go to cave, I'll sit by the seashore and I'll sit and fast here. If you decide like that, then be sure not one monkey is going to join you in this noble task. They will all desert you and go away. They are all missing their wives and children already. And they are all tired. And if they start lying down on the ground, hard ground, 2-3 nights they sleep, they'll say, no, we are going. They'll go. Nobody will stay here. And after that, once they have gone, time is already ticking, clock is going. Lakshmana's arrows will be itching. They'll soon start coming, and after that, every blade of grass that moves, you will be in terror. Lakshmana's arrows are coming. Now, give up this attitude. If you give up this attitude of yours, this resolve of yours, come, let's go back to Kishkinda. You come with me. We will go back. We will go back to Sugriva and we will behave with humility. We will tell him. Be sure that Sugriva is going to establish you as his successor in times to come. He will do that. Your uncle loves to do what is right. And he loves to win your affection as well. Angada. Sugriva keeps his word. He always keeps his word. And he will never kill you. Never kill you, son. He will never do that. And remember, he wants your mother's love. In fact, he lives for it. And also he has no son of his own, Angada. So let's go back, you come with us. This was his argument to Angada. Angada replied, considered Hanuman's argument and replied, Stairyam atma manashauriyam manrisham simatharjavam vikramaschaiva dhairyam cha sugrivo no nopapadyate. He said, Sugriva, Stairyam, steadiness, Atma manashaucham, purity of mind and body, steadiness, purity of mind and body, lack of cruelty or kindness, straightforwardness, prowess, courage, all these qualities don't exist in Sugriva. Sugrivo nopapadyate. They are foreign to him. How can he be said to know Dharma, who shamelessly took on his elder brother's wife, who was a beloved queen, who is his mother in the eyes of Dharma when his brother was living still? Who was charged with his brother with the duty of guarding the entrance to the cave, but instead he blocked the cave with a rock, violated his duty? How can he be grateful to anyone when he is somebody who forgot the vow, the friendship, allegiance, that pledge of friendship he had taken to Rama? He completely forgot about it. When Rama had done him a huge service, even then he did not remember it. Such is he. And if you are saying, no, he ordered the search for Sita, he ordered the search for Sita not because of his love for Dharma or anything, only because of fear of Lakshmana. That's why he did it. As regards me, how can I go back now? What son? As far as he is concerned, I am his enemy's son. How will he tolerate this? Will he tolerate his enemy's son? At best, what he will do is, he will just put me into jail as a lesser punishment, confine me in prison. But you are free to do what you want. Now, I am going to fast here. But if you think all the apes will want to go home, please go home. All of you go home. But I am not returning. I prefer death here. I shall fast to death in this very place. Please return and please convey my respects to Rama. Please also convey my humble pranams to Sugriva. My best wishes to him. Please, on my behalf, make concerned enquiries about her health and welfare to my aunt Ruma. Please console my mother Tara. She is a very loving and kind mother. She has suffered greatly. And when she hears that I have died here, she will without a doubt give up her life. He says all this and he starts weeping. His mother's dying itself comes in front of his eyes and he weeps. He decided that's the way to go now, nothing can be done about it. And he just lay down, he put some darba grass under the ground and he lay down, deciding to die. Now I am going to fast to death. He prostrated to everybody, he wept, and then he lay down on the ground, which was strewn with darba grass. And he was lying, tears coming, lying on the ground. All the apes also started crying, looking at him. They were shedding tears and they started denouncing Sugriva and praising Vali. All of them are in his side now. He had won them over again back with his drama. Hanuman's this thing had not worked. All the apes were back, flighty by nature. They were back there now. They said, we'll also fast and die. We'll also join him in all that. So they all went. Fasting is also a ritual. So they went and they purified themselves with water and all that. They also kept darbha grass with the edge, Nuni edge facing south towards Pitrulokam, Yamalokam. And then they sat facing east, all of them sat down, saying we will all sit down and we will fast and die. So fasting and dying means not that they have to keep silent and all that. No. So they are chatting and fasting and dying. They are all chatting with each other. All monkeys, jabber. They are all jabbering and fasting. They are all stories they remember. Rama came, Vali this happened, then that happened. Sugriva this happened. Then what happened in cave? All that they were all chattering. And Hare Baba this Kaikeyi. Then Ravana kidnapped Jatayu, that got killed. And this and that, that eagle, it fought, it got killed. And all that they were chatting loudly. Upaveshta te sarve yasmin prayam giristhale harayo gridharajascha tam desham upachakrame sampatirnam natu chiranjeevi vihangamah bhrata jatayucha shriman vikhyata balapurusha. So they were sitting by this, it was a sloping towards the sea, Western Ghats kind of thing. If you have seen the Western coast, Western Ghats are not too far away, and then it slopes and then sea. So they were there, and they were intending to starve to death. And when they were all jabbering, there came the king of eagles. Big eagle, pok, slowly it came. A bird of venerable age, aged eagle, old, known to fame as Sampati. The great bird was the brother of Jatayu and was known for his strength and valor. And the great eagle came and he was hearing what the apes were jabbering, and he saw them all preparing to fast to death, and he was delighted. He told himself, Vidhi kilam naram loke vidhane nanuvartate yathaham vihito bhakshya chiran mahyam upagata. Truly there is a thing called destiny. Truly destiny is there for all creatures, providing for their needs. Thus it is that the prey allotted to me has reached me, although after a long time. Paramparanam bhakshishye vanaranam mritam uvachedam vajah bhakshit tanniriksha plavangaman. In due order I shall eat these apes one by one as they die. So said the bird as he locked his eyes on the fasting apes. Being an aged eagle, whatever he was thinking, he'll speak it loudly also. So he was speaking all this loudly. I shall eat these apes now one by one. When they die, God, destiny is kind. My food has come to me, although I've been hungry for a long time. All that loudly he spoke. And these words reached Angada's ears, and he turned and was stunned to see this huge bird chanting, say, I'll eat these ones one by one and all that. He said to Hanuman, look, Yama has come. Yama has himself arrived to finish us. First, look at our plight. First, Rama's allotted task we have not done. Sugriva's orders we have not carried out. Now, out of the blue, disaster has come. Disaster has come. What can we say about our lot? The eagle has come as our death. One thing is to decide to fast to death, but if some eagle comes and kills you, that's a difficult problem, different problem. Yeah. I remember I was in the hospital and there was a lady who had committed suicide or something. They had brought her there. She was alive. husband and children had found her. Except without going into detail, when they wanted to put an injection, she screamed. No! She wanted to commit suicide. But no injections, please. Whole lot of pills she was swallowing. Anyway, the eagle. So he's saying, no, this eagle has come as a death for us. And then there are eagles and there are eagles. There's Jatayu, what a noble eagle. He gave up his life for Rama. Just like we are going to do now. We want to give up our life for Rama here. And then there are these eagles. There is another eagle. What a way to die, being eaten up by this eagle. Look at Jatayu, what a way he died, fighting with Ravana. No, that's the way to go. And what a noble friendship he had with Rama. What a unmatchable friendship was there between Rama and Jatayu. All this he was telling Hanuman, and Sampati was listening. He was quite stunned to hear these words. Valmiki says, the eagle of sharp beak. He cleared his throat kind of thing and asked in a stentorian voice, who is it that proclaims the shocking news of the death of my brother Jatayu, who was dearer to me than my own life? How is it that a fight came about between him and the Rakshasa? It is after long years that I hear the name of my brother spoken. I am old, I am unable to move. I would like you to come here and help me down from here. He was in a slightly elevated place. The apes looked at him. They said, we don't believe his words. He said, he's going to eat us up. We want to help him. Then they talked to each other. They said, maybe that is not a bad option also. We'll die quicker. Then Angada said, oh no, I'll take care. So he went and he helped Sampati down. Then Sampati will tell me. Then he told the whole story. Kaikeyi onwards, this thing, all story he told to Sampati. Jatayu and all that. Having heard all this, Sampati said, Jatayu, whom you report having been killed, he was killed by Ravana because of Ravana's superior strength and weapons. That Jatayu was my younger brother. I am outraged by this news, but being old, I have no option. I am powerless. I am powerless to avenge my brother's death. In days gone long back, long years ago, when Vritra was slain by Indra, at that time, I and my brother, we were very young and we were having a competition. Who can fly higher? So we just kept flying higher and higher towards the sun. And there came a point during midday when it became so hot, we were directly under the sun. And my brother, little brother Jatayu, became very tired and he was getting beaten by the heat. So I had to rush to him and I protected him with my wings from the heat. And in that process, my wings got burnt, he got saved. But both my wings were completely burnt. And I just fell from the sky and I fell on the Vindhyas. And from that time till now, I have no news of Jatayu until this day that I hear from you that he is no more. And now, though this business of Rama should have first claim upon me after hearing all this, but my old age has sapped my strength and my body is worn out. I am an old eagle, I am weak, I am powerless, I am wingless. But I shall do my best to help Rama. I know all the words that were covered by Vishnu in his 3 steps. I was there. When the Sagara Manthana happened for Amrita, I was there. Let me tell you. I saw a young and beautiful damsel adorned with every jewel as she was being carried away by the wicked Ravana. And this damsel was crying, Rama, Rama, Lakshmana, Lakshmana all the time. And she was shaking and she was trembling, tossing her limbs and struggling, and her jewels were breaking. And against that Rakshasa, she looked like a lightning in a rain cloud. From her repeatedly calling for Rama, I infer she must be the Sita that you seek. And now let me tell you where that Rakshasa lives. Putro Vishravasa Sakshat Brada Vaishravanasya Adhyaste Nagarim Lankam Ravano Nama Rakshasa. Son of Vishravas, own brother of Vaishravana, meaning Kubera's brother. Ravana, the celebrated Rakshasa, lives in and controls the city of Lanka. At a distance of 100 yojanas from here is an island on which is situated the beautiful city of Lanka, which has been fashioned by Vishwakarma. It is a city of gold. In that city lives Vaidehi, in acute misery, closely guarded by the Rakshasas. You will find in Lanka, Janaka's daughter is there. And this island, this Lanka is protected on all sides by the sea. So you cross the sea and you go there with all speed, O apes. And I know by intuition that you will see Sita and come back. Eagles have intuition. In the skies, in the first plane, in the first layer of the sky, one sees sparrows and you see birds which feed on grains. In the second lane, there's a 7-lane highway in the sky, like that, one above the other. The second lane fly crows and birds which live on food offered to the dead, Bali Bhojanam, and birds that live on fruits and trees. And then there are cranes and craunchas, they move in the third plane. And then in the fourth plane fly the hawks and the falcons. On the fifth plane fly the vultures. And on the sixth plane, swans blessed with strength and vigor and beauty and youth, they move in the sixth plane. And the seventh plane belongs to us, the descendants of Garuda, Vinata. The highest of all, the seventh. We are descendants of Vinata. Even from here I can see Janaki right now. We possess God-like eyes that can see from a great distance. And the strength that goes with this power of seeing. We have this gift. Because we can do that because we have this native gift. We have that. And the food that we eat, that also enables us. We can see more than 100 yojanas away. Apparently the eagle has got the one, its ability, of course it has. From where all it can see. Where it can see. And also it says it's a food. It's also the food that helps. Whatever. Now, from here, I can clearly see Ravana and Janaki. Talking about themselves or the eagles, it says the leg fighting birds like cocks which fight with legs. They are destined to have their livelihood, find their livelihood at the base of their feet. They can picket it. For us, it's not like that. We have to find it far away. Our prey is far away. So we can see far away. And this cannibal Rakshasa, Ravana, who has done this disgusting and despicable deed of kidnapping Sita, by taking revenge on him, by by your punishing him, my own desire to avenge the death of my brother will also be fulfilled. So, O apes, think of some way of crossing the salt sea. Then you shall meet Vaidehi and you will come back, your mission fulfilled. Samudram netumichhami bhavadbhir pradasyam yudakam bhratu swargatasya mahatmana. And now can you please take me to the sea? Can you please carry me to the sea? To the home of Varuna. I need to offer Tarpanam, Jalakriya, water libations to the spirit of my mighty brother Jatayu who has gone to heaven. Thereupon all the heavy monkeys got up and they lifted Sampati, whose wings were totally burnt, to the sea shore, and after he had offered oblations, they took him back to the same place. And now these monkeys, having got news of Vaidehi, they were all very happy. They were all very happy. And they were all chatting as if Vaidehi has been seen now. So they clear, Sita has been seen, we can go back. Like that they started chatting among each other. Chatter again. Again they had found life. Excitedly. And Jambavan, he just sprang to his feet and he told Sampati, you have given us life. You are a savior of the apes. Now please tell us detail. What is it? How you saw Sita? How was she being carried away? Who is it that desires death with the arrows of Rama and Lakshmana? Please tell us. And Sampati says, listen, and I will tell you how I came to hear about Sita's abduction and where she of the long eyes was seen and by whom I was told all this. See, when I fell on the earth, my wings totally burned. How was I to look after myself? It is my son who looks after me. Suparshva, a mighty bird, my son. He brings me food every day. He takes care of me. Tikshna kama tu gandharvan, tikshna kopa bhujangama, mruganam tu bhayam tikshnam, tatas tikshnam shudhavayam, tikshna shudhavayam. See, Gandharvas are by nature, they are very lusty. Snakes are by nature prone to anger. Quickly they can become angry. Deer by nature are scared. And we eagles by nature, we have a ravenous appetite. We are hungry. One day this son of mine, he returned after sunset. I was waiting eagerly for food and he brought nothing. He brought no food with him. I was suffering from hunger and being old and angry and hungry. I spoke harshly to him. Where is he? I bitterly spoke to him. And he, my son, the first among birds, seeing me angry, he apologized profusely to me and told me, please listen, this is what happened today. I had perched myself properly. I flew into the sky at the usual time in quest of food and I perched myself at the mouth of the Mahendra mountain with a view to block the passage of thousands of creatures which go to the sea, and from the sea they go through that place. So I perched myself there to get food. And when I was sitting there, what do I see but in the sky? Oh, huge! Like a hill of kajal, of collyrium, one Rakshasa. And he's got this against him, there's a woman who is shining like the rising sun and is grappling with her, and I saw them flying, and as I wanted food and they were in my line of sight, I went for them. But then when I went to attack them, that being, he spoke to me and he pleaded with me very persuasively and very humbly, saying to please let him go. Now, even nobody, not even the lowest of the low creatures, strikes at somebody who tries to conciliate. How then could the likes of me, O Father, I let him go? He swiftly went on his way, contracting the sky as it were by his terrific power. No sooner had he gone, great sages, Siddhas appeared in the sky and they told me, you are very fortunate. They told me you are very fortunate. Do you know who that was? That was Ravana. That was Ravana. And he has gone away from here without hurting you, and undoubtedly you are a lucky bird. They told me that he had abducted Sita when I had stopped them during my hunt. That lady, Sita, her dress, her ornaments in disarray, her hair disheveled. She was calling out distractedly the names of Rama and Lakshmana, and that is why, my father, I am late. He told me. And then Sampati says, Sampati had also spotted them flying. Now his son has come back with a story further to add to that. He says, I am old, I could do nothing. But then I will try to do what I can to help you now. Indeed, you monkeys, you're all, each one of you you're a hand-picked group sent by Sugriva. From what you have told me, you are all very wise, strong and sensitive. The king of monkeys has sent you on this mission. You are a group that cannot be conquered even by the gods. And the arrows of Rama and Lakshmana are sharp and strong enough to protect and subdue all the three worlds. They can finish them off, they can protect all the three worlds. Whatever they want to do, they can do. The 10-headed Ravana may be mighty, he may be strong, powerful, but for you, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible for you. You are so capable. Now, do not waste time. Do not waste time. Intelligent folks like you do not delay when the time calls for action. Said Sampati. On that note, we conclude today. Har Namah Parvati Pataye.
Har Mahadeva.
Janaki Kanta Smaranam.
Jai Jai Rama Rama.
Gopika Jivana Smaranam.
Govinda Govinda.
Vetrivil Muruganukku.
Arohara.
Sadguru Swamina.
Jai.
Sri Anjaneya Swamina.
Jai.